There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone.
Welcome to SyFy Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the SyFy channel. I'm Steve.
And I'm Sean, Fangirl S, and tonight we'll be discussing episode 4 of season 1 of Krypton. You know, Steve, as much as I'm digging this, I love that you're still like, I'm holding out hope. This is going to be multiple seasons.
Yeah, I will until I'm told otherwise.
I mean, I think it's doing really well. I don't know if the numbers are agreeing with us to that extent, but I think it's doing pretty well.
Yes,
especially
it really is.
People online.
Yeah, and the numbers are still pretty strong. This episode brought in as 0.25 in adults 18 to 49 with 0.873 million viewers, making it the 30th rated cable show for the day, and the Live Plus 7's days for episode 2 tied for 10th in adults 18 to 49 total gain, going from a 0.3 to a 0.7 for an increase of 0.4. It was 12th in adults 18 to 49 percentage gain with that 0.3 to 0.7 increase, which ended up being 133%.
Nice.
It was 4th in viewers total gain, going from 1.077 to 2.510 million viewers for an increase of 1.433 million viewers, which made it 7th in adults percentage gain, increasing by 133%.
I wonder how many times I've fallen that, because I watched half of it when it aired, and then I was sick, so I ended up sleeping, and then I watched it again, then I watched it again, so we could get all the talking points. And you kind of do the same thing. You have to watch it a couple times. So
Yep.
I wonder how many times we're counting.
Hopefully double dipping. I'm all for double dipping.
I don't care.
Yes. For Nielsen's ratings.
Yeah, I'm not a Nielsen family, so I'm guessing I probably don't count. So.
No, I'm not either. I was at one time, very short time, back when SyFy was first starting. And that's what I was watching, and they didn't like it. So they pulled it.
They would not know what to do with the amount of weird stuff that we watch. And it's not weird, it's just like, just looking at my family, which is just my husband and I, they wouldn't understand. They're like, okay, wait, they watch spy stuff, they watch horror, they watch anime, they watch, like, network and sci-fi. I'd be like, I think somebody's just hacking their box, is what it would. Yeah,
right.
They probably
yeah,
think
if
when
you
they
are
look at it.
A brainless CBS viewer, because they make sure they got plenty of CBS viewers in their families. That's for sure.
Weird, but anyway. All right, so let's jump into episode 4, shall we?
All right, the word of Rao. Seg is approached by a Black Zero leader as Rao finds a scapegoat for the failed Rankless initiative.
So there was a lot of what the heck moments.
Plenty.
And a couple like, wait a second, I know that face.
Yeah. So this episode opens in the voice of Rao's private chambers, as his word of Rao attendants assist with dressing him. But we actually see that he is at least humanoid.
Yeah. So my previous thought was obviously wrong, that he is not Brainiac.
Right.
But
that could change.
Yeah, I don't know. It always weirds me out when you're like, I need people to dress me. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? And then a couple of the, I don't know, what are we calling them? Acolytes?
Yeah.
They seem like totally fine with it, like it's no big deal. And then the one that comes in to talk to him, I don't know if she was uncomfortable because of what was happening or because he decided to step up the gala preparation. Like, I
Right.
feel like this is a calendar event, kind of.
Yes,
and
it
to
is.
suddenly be like, oh no, we're just bumping it up. Like, what?
Yeah, that threw them off. There's got to be order in this, and this is out of order.
Yeah, and what was with him suddenly, like, turning on the sun?
Yeah.
What? Is he, like, running when daytime is happening? And it's like, what is going on? I'm so confused with this.
Yeah, I think the dome itself can create sunlight, at least the appearance of sunlight, and that's what he did, was he just changed it from the normal view of what's actually going on outside planet to sunlight to try to, shall we say, appease the rank and file some.
I don't know. And then he seemed particularly pissed off about the Sagittari screwing up.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't so much a
Absolutely.
screw up. I mean, not really. It was more that they didn't bring him the head of Black Zero.
Right. It was a bad plan to begin with. Daron Back should not have gone in there guns blazing without a better plan.
And
Sure
that
you say?
actually comes out a whole lot differently than I expected later, too.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure we'll get to. So, I'm sorry. I keep interrupting. Go ahead.
Well, we go down to the communication hub where we were previously, and we see an armed detachment of Sagittari soldiers about to enter when all of a sudden an anonymous new squad appears and basically takes over.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. It's like, who are you with? That's none of your business. It's like, yeah, okay. So this is, of course, on the up and up.
Yeah. It's actually members of Black Zero terrorist strike team dressed in Sagittari gear. And they take out the commandos and get set up to perform some unknown act of sabotage. Or are they?
Yeah, I was thinking they were actually there trying to get information.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, and Val. Yay, Val.
Yes. More Val, please.
I don't know if I like him because he's so just like, I don't even have to show emotion and do anything. But I'm just basically a big sarcastic hologram.
Right.
Even when he's being nice, which he was, scanning ROM and trying to figure out what's going on. And we find out Brainiac's tech is keeping her alive. We don't know why. We don't know how long. We don't know what it's actually doing to her.
Right. Even Val is unable to understand it, and which makes total sense because it's Brainiac, of course.
Mm-hmm. Now, I was actually going to ask you, do you think that's actually what it is, that it's kind of so far advanced you can't understand, or because Val is just basically a computer and being run on the information that was given at the time that Val programmed?
Right. Yes, absolutely. And I don't think Val knows enough about Brainiac yet. I mean, he only had that one brief encounter, and so of course he doesn't really know anything about Brainiac's technology. Now, will he someday be able to figure it out? I think he probably will.
See, I was
But
thinking
at
if
this
Val
point in
was
time-
actually there, he would have been able to figure it out. That's why I was just kind of throwing
Right.
it out there.
Yeah, that's probably pretty true. Of course, Seg decides he must go tell Rom's daughter Anna the sad news about her mom.
Oh my gosh, this whole thing with Ona, it was so hard.
Yes. It got real creepy real quick.
Yes! And I honestly, yeah, there was tears this episode. There were tears. And it wasn't like super sad tears, but it was like pulling on the heartstrings, and yeah, there was just like, wow, that's really rough. And then with what happens with Ona, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's so sweet. Some tears. Yeah.
But before we get there, we'll stop by the Zods, and Mama Zod informs her daughter that she's to report to intelligence for a review in the wake of the blunder down in the rankless town and the death of 3 Sagittari under her command.
I think Lyda did a very good job explaining what happened.
Oh, absolutely she did. I completely agree with that.
And honestly, with everything that happened, I think that Jaina, even being hard-nosed as she is, Primus, that she was like, all right, you know what? She's doing what she said she was going to do. She was trying to keep order. She was trying to keep all of her people alive. And yeah, 3 of them died. But I think there was some, I don't know, proud moments for her, even with what was happening.
Right. And plus, Lita telling her that she needed a mother, not a commander for all these years, kind of struck home a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's finally like, oh, crap. Yeah, I was raising her like a soldier, not as a kid.
Right.
But I think ultimately Jaina was like, all right, my daughter is doing what she needs to do, especially when they stood in front of that disciplinary council and she was watching, never stepped in when Lita was explaining what happened.
Right.
And I was like, okay, she wasn't trying to cover anything. So I
Right.
thought that was good.
Absolutely.
And then even when Dev, I feel like that should be one name, one word.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, Lyda knows they're supposed, or at least previous to this, we don't know what's going to happen. They're supposed to be together. I forgot what they called them.
Yes.
Bound, thank you. And he's like, I'm sure you know that it's more than just loyalty that I have, for you. It's like, oh, that was so warm and
Awkward.
it's like, were you trying to confess your love in a weird
Military way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know how to even say it. It was weird. But it's like, at least he's standing by her, too.
Right.
So I felt good about that. So with her going into talk to the council, I was like, all right, she's got this. She's going to show them the kind of leader she is and everything, and it's going to be great.
Right.
And then the next thing happened.
Yeah. Sensing the mounting unrest amid the rankless multitudes, High Priest storms into Daron Vex's office to express his discontent, just slightly.
Yeah, especially because he goes down, and I mean, obviously it's supposed to be a whole different religion and the weird little hand movements that he's doing, over the body of the person who was killed by the Sagittari last week, which I feel like maybe they would have gotten him off the street by now, but whatever.
Right.
And it was weird because there were Sagittari around him, but immediately around him were just his acolytes, and they're the ones who were calming people down.
Right.
And then, when he decides to get all pissy and go see Daron, because I'm sure that's going to fix everything.
Yeah, right. He wants a scapegoat before the Nova cycle kicks off, so there's not a shadow hanging over it.
I don't know why they didn't just say, all right, sorry, Kolda, you're done.
Yeah.
You did it. They seen you. We're just going to let you, raised up by your heels at that point.
Yeah. But no, it's got to be somebody higher up.
And when he said that, I thought Daron's face kind of went white.
Yeah,
like,
it did.
Oh, crap.
It did. It was so nice to see him squirm for just a second.
I kind of wish he said, yeah, it's going to be you.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh, man. Now,
Lita.
Did he choose or did officially the voice choose? That's what I was confused on.
No, the voice ended up determining that it should be Lita Zod. So, of course, Lita appears in front of the hearing council to plead her case. And, of course, they are basically all over her case that her failures led to the escape of vital intelligence and potential Black Zero operatives. And I can't agree with that statement because if they looked at the plan, they would have known it was flawed to begin with. You're just going down there doing a raid. Well, get some damn intelligence, people.
Well, that's coming
Find out
from
exactly
the higher
where these
up.
people are.
Yeah, so they don't think that they know what they're talking about. No.
Yeah.
We've learned that.
Yeah.
So many shows we've learned that. Apparently these people need to watch TV is what it is, and then they'll know too.
Right. So Lita states that the unrest created unexpected variables that threatened the safety of her squad, and by arresting Kalda, prevented a massive riot, saving even more Sagittari lives.
Which makes perfect sense.
Yes, it does. Now, the board didn't seem to be buying it, and of course, Daron Vex marches in and places Lita under arrest for conspiring with Black Zero and cuffs her on the charge of treason.
Now that's when Mom decided to be like, hold up.
Yeah.
This is not you. Get out of here. What are you doing? And then he's like, no. Higher up.
Yeah.
Wow. I was not expecting that to happen.
No.
I mean, obviously we've seen the previews. We knew that was going to happen, but
yeah.
like I really wasn't expecting it. And it's all to just like, all right, well, I screwed this up, so I'm going to lay this at your feet.
Yeah.
And I feel like if this happens, all of the ones, the rankless that were down there, they seen that Lita was the one who stopped anything else from happening.
Right.
So I feel like that would have blown up in their face even worse.
Yes. Just like Lita said. If she wouldn't have arrested Kaldal, they'd had a full-scale riot on their hands. And there was more of the rankless than there were of the soldiers.
But if the rankless, because word has to have gotten around, even if it's only been like a couple hours at this point, whatever. Oh, Lita Zod, she's the new commander. She stopped it. She actually arrested one of her own. So I'm sure, they're like, oh, wow, she's actually listening, da-da-da. So if you're going to try to put her out there to take the blame, this could go horribly wrong.
Yes, it could.
And I feel like the only person that understands this, which is weird that I'm saying this, is Nyssa.
Right.
I don't trust her.
No.
But it's weird that she's the one that's like, because at one point even she says it to her father, basically, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
So it's like, holy crap, what are we going to do here? It's weird. But
yeah,
we'll come back to that.
Yeah. In the tavern, Seg sits down with Ona, who is still holding on to her sun god statue, and starts to try to explain to her what happened to her mom. When he's interrupted by Kim, who informs him that the Word of Rao has decided that Lita Zod needs to be punished.
Yeah.
So, of course...
That's working out great for Seg right now.
Seg gets up and takes off, and Kim continues the conversation with Ona and tells her that her mom's not coming home and that he'll always take care of her.
Oh, yeah, it was a little hard.
Very.
It was a little hard. And when poor Ona, and I think it's because she just comes off as such a sweet little girl.
Right.
She's kind of crying, and she's like, I have to do something for my mom. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like
Kim's just wrapped around her finger.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing. He's going to do whatever she asks him to do.
Poor Uncle Kim.
Yeah. So we see Seg bolting into the military guild, demanding to see Lita. And that works out so well, because first he's blocked by Dev M, and then Jaina, who threatens him and demands he stay away from her daughter.
Okay, I want to know, Dev M is just being an ass at this point. He's like, rankless aren't allowed here. And he's like, you know very well I'm not rankless.
Yeah, he's just being a jerk.
Yeah.
Jealous.
And Jaina, at least we understand, because she's known something for a while.
Right.
And I get that. She's mad because she's like, she's in this problem because of you.
Really.
Yeah.
Because she's in love with him. It's his fault.
Well, come on. You see that.
Yeah, she's a mom.
Yeah. But
yeah, we're seeing mom more than commander at this point.
Yes, exactly. But Dev M is just being an ass.
Yeah.
It's like, isn't he about to outrank you, Dev? Maybe you should, not be that guy.
Right. And then Seg doesn't help his cause by stating that Mama Zod did nothing to help save her, and Jaina sends Seg skittering across the floor.
Yeah, like I said, she's pretty badass.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of mama bear
I
happening.
want to watch your words just a little more carefully there, Seg.
Just a little bit.
So, of course, Seg goes, well, what do I do next? Well, I better go talk to Nyssa.
And this was the weirdest, it was a really awesome moment when he goes to see her.
Yeah.
Because she's trying on different dresses. But I'm like, wait a minute. It's her in all the dresses. So kudos for the special effects, because that was really neat.
Yes.
And then I just think it's funny because it's like she just thrives on making Seg slightly uncomfortable.
Yes. And she did.
It was so funny. Because he's like, all right, listen, I need your help. I need you to help clear light of treason. She's like, okay, pick a gown. And then she puts on the opposite one anyway. But she just,
Right.
like, undresses in front of him. And I love it. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to stare at the ceiling. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Right. Exactly.
It's just funny.
Yes, it is.
And I love it. She's looking at him like, yeah, we're going to be bound. We already have a kid, which is just awkward saying.
Right. Exactly. Very awkward.
Especially if there was no naked time. So, yeah, that's kind of weird, I guess. And then the fact that she just kept pushing, too, until he confessed that he loved Lyda.
Right.
It's like, oh, damn.
Yeah. Well, she goes, yeah, I had my suspicions. Well, duh.
And now it's like, all right, we can move past this. It's like, okay, that's a weird conversation. Can you put some clothes on so we can have this conversation?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like, she just wanted to see him squirm.
Yes. And it was hilarious, but that just goes to show how devious Nyssa can be.
Mm-hmm.
And that Devon may be the head of that family, but she's got all the power.
Oh, yeah. She knows exactly what she needs to do.
No doubt about that. And yeah, I was getting a little more afraid of what she's capable of. Let's just put it that way.
Well, it's interesting, too, that she says since the Voice of Ra took control, no execution has ever been called off, and he's the one who decided this.
Right.
And then she's like, fine, I'll help. But it's like, okay, if you know this, how exactly are you going to help?
Right.
So it really makes me wonder, at this point, I'm like, okay, whose side is she on?
Yeah.
And I'm feeling
her side. I can tell you that right now.
I'm saying more
side.
and more. I'm thinking she has a whole different plan than her father.
Yes.
So I definitely agree with you. She's on her own side.
Yeah. So of course we see Seg arguing with Adam, believing that the only way to clear Lyda's name is to show the council the violated body of Rom. Which,
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would probably end up clearing her name, maybe. But boy, the can of worms that would open right now, that might be a little bit too much.
Yeah, I'm not feeling real good about it. And well, Adam wasn't feeling good about it either, so at least I wasn't completely unjustified in that.
No, not at all. He thinks Seg should be focusing on stopping Brainiac, and he finds out the hard way that when Seg sets his mind to something, you just better go with it.
Yeah, because, well, Seg decides to kind of run off then, because he's going to do what he does. Of course, he got a nice punch in, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Poor Adam. I feel like he's going to be a punching bag off and on this whole season.
I think that's probably true until Seg matures a little bit.
Thankfully, he's not to the same level as his grandson is.
Right.
Because poor Adam would not make it.
No. Unfortunately, Seg doesn't get too far as he is cornered by some Black Zero operatives who use their stun batons to render him unconscious.
But they were dressed like the Sagittari.
Yes,
so
they were.
I was thinking it was Dev-Em.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, crap. He's coming back.
Yeah. So he wakes up in a lair and is further tortured.
Oh, yeah.
And then we see
I'm not laughing, but I am because with his line after everything happens here.
Right. We see the woman pull out a jar with a very big, ugly bug in it.
I was like, what is that? I'm pretty much the same as Seg. Like, what is that?
And she gets it out and drops it on his face, and it goes in through his nose. And you just go, oh.
And let me tell you, I had the flu last week. They had to do the test, which is basically a big giant Q-tip up your nose, right?
Right, yes.
That thing irritated me and hurt, and then I seen this, and I'm like, oh, how? I mean, obviously it's not real. I know that. But
right.
after just, like, I like relived the giant flu test Q-tip experience
All over again.
watching this happen, and I was like, ah! Like, I don't know how. If you ever need to react on screen, just have him shove that Q-tip up your nose. You're gonna react probably the same way he did with the bug thing.
Yes.
Oh, it was so funky, and like my nose started to kind of throb just watching it. Like, oh, my nose hurt. Yeah. And then weirder when they take it out and it's through his damn ear.
Right.
I'm like, how did it not like blow out his eardrum? And again, I'm like,
anything in between the side of his cavity and his ear cavity.
I was just like, not screaming, but like all like, and squiggly and like grabbing my ear, and I'm like, it hurts.
Yeah. But we cut to Fort Roz, where Jane Azad is visiting Lyda in jail, and brings in Nyssa Vex for backup.
This was weird.
Just a little bit, because yes. Very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, when Nyssa had gone to talk to Jada, it was like, all right, you just feel the tension.
Yeah.
And of course there's tension when Nyssa goes to talk to Lyda. And I get all of it. And, because obviously Lyda knows that Nyssa and Seg are bound. And Nyssa now knows that Lyda and Seg were in love. And Jaina knows all of it.
Right.
And Jaina's like, I don't know how to feel. They want me to do this. And I'm honor bound to do this. And I think there's just so much tension because nobody wants to tell anybody else what's happening because nobody trusts anybody else.
Right.
And I don't think even Nyssa trusts herself. So, like nobody can really talk.
Right.
But it's really
kind of like another show we just did.
Right? But it's really interesting to see Nyssa's like, listen, I'm your advocate. I'm high up. I've written a lot of these laws. I'm your best hope. And yeah, Seg told me everything. Whatever. Right. I'm still here. It's like, it's one of those things that you're watching it and you're like, I know she's in for the long game here.
Yes.
But I feel like she's pushing things along and trying to move all the pieces into place really fast, and it might blow up.
Yeah. It's possible that it could, but it may also be perfect timing.
Ah, okay.
Because if she can get in with Lyda, then maybe Mama Zod will also join in her little plan, shall we say.
Yeah, because I'm feeling like Nyssa is leaving her dad in the dust at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, we go back to Seg, and he's informed that this special bug was not being used to hurt Seg, but to determine if he was one of Brainiac's sentries or not.
Which is like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Hold on, you know about Brainiac and the sentries? And then all of Seg's like, Seg does not have a poker face, by the way.
No, he doesn't.
It's like, what? Oh, who's Brainiac? Yeah, you're horrible at this. I'm just throwing that out there. But I love it because Seg's talking to the commander, who we find out is Colin Salmon.
Yes.
Who's a Doctor Who alum. And, of course, I know him from Resident Evil, even though he wasn't in a lot. But he's been in, of course, tons of shows.
Yeah, Arrow.
Yes.
Recently.
Yeah, there's just like his list goes on and on, which is... Okay, he was in Sophia the First, too, which cracks me up.
Yeah.
He's like this crazy badass guy, and it's like, but I'm going to do a voice on this kid show, which cracks me up. But, whatever. But he's been in so many things, and he's always like almost bad guy, hard nose. And then you see him in this, and it's like, what? Again, is he really the bad guy? Is he just working for the people? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we can talk a whole lot about him here in just a minute. Because he reveals that Rom uploaded data to Brainiac.
Yes, which
of course,
is like...
allowing...
What?
Yeah, allowing Brainiac to track down Krypton. But that's not the Sentry's ultimate mission. It will need to infect a more useful and powerful host. You go, okay.
So,
how is this going to play out?
Yeah, so it doesn't die like we thought it did.
Right. It just moves from host to host.
So where did it go then? Because if it's still in ROM, that seems weird. But how does he know about Brainiac?
Exactly.
So I'm guessing he can't have just been rankless then.
No, not at all. Because he does mention that he did know Val.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing that he is probably Lita's father.
What? I didn't even think that.
Yes, he's a Zod. There is no doubt in my mind that this guy was Jaina's husband and Lita's father.
Oh my god.
I'll bet money on it.
I did not even think that, like, not one bit. Ooh, that's interesting, Steve.
Yeah.
I do want to say that Seg did have a really awesome line here, because when he's told you're not being tortured, he's like, well, I feel so much less tortured now, thank you.
Yeah.
That had me cracking up. I just have to throw that out there.
Oh, yeah.
But I did not even think that. Now I'm going to be, like, watching every little thing he does. And like, is he a Zod? Was he a Zod? What is he?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
I really, really do. Because he just had that command attitude that the first commander had that we saw that Lita defeated.
Ah, okay.
And, of course, if he knew Val, then it's very possible that Val confided in him about Brainiac and what was going on. And when he got
like stripped
killed,
of ring.
Yeah, that this guy actually picked up the mantle and kept the investigation going into Brainiac.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting thought right there.
I hope I'm right. I have a good feeling about it, though, that's for sure. Because that's going to throw a big monkey wrench in a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
So we see Nyssa and Daron together.
Oh, yeah. And Nyssa was not playing around.
No. She knows that killing Lita will ruin their plans to unite Kandor using the Trusted L family name. Say what?
Right. It's like, okay, so maybe during the binding it was going to be like, no, I want to be House L.
Right.
You know, something goofy like that.
Would have to be. Yeah. Their master plan is to aid in the union of House Zod and House L and coerce them into overthrowing the voice of Ra with the Vex dynasty assuming the throne. And it won't be Daron sitting on that throne.
Oh, no. I think Nyssa pretty much said that too. It's like, yeah, I don't know who you think is going to be up there, but at this point it's not you.
Yeah. And she even tells her dad she's not afraid of Ra and will absolutely not let him keep his power.
Right. It's like, have another drink, Dad.
Yeah. Keep drinking, Dad.
Yeah.
Keep drinking. We'll kill that liver in no time. So back at the Resistance compound, Seg and the Commander make a deal. Seg will help him hunt down the Sentry and in turn get his aid in breaking Lita out of the impenetrable stronghold of Fort Ra.
See, I didn't even realize they said the name of the place.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's in jail. That place.
Yeah. Very well fortified.
Yes.
So down in Sector 19, we have the festive procession for the Novo cycle is nearing the tavern, and Anna is adamant about giving the High Priest an offering of her little sun god statue.
Which I thought was kind of sad right here, because it's like, okay, it was her mom's, and she does say, it's the only way to help my mom find her way to Ra. It's like, oh, okay, that's sweet, but at the same time, it's like, that's the last thing you have of her.
Right.
So I was like, oh, don't do it. But then Kem's like, okay, let's do this. And, well, we see the voice of Ra. And I'm like, why do I feel like things are going to go bad?
Yeah.
And this is where I seriously, I was getting teared up because they get separated. And she suddenly, like, runs up on the stage with the voice of Ra and tries to give him the gift. And I thought the frickin' Sagittari were going to kill the poor kid.
Right.
And I think my heart was in my throat. And Kem, jumps up there and he's like begging, it's like, please, Your Eminence. Which we know Kem is not a fan of Ra, or the voice of Ra.
No.
But he's like, take mercy on her. She just wanted to honor her mother. And he does this whole really good speech.
Right.
And when the voice takes the little statue and then all of a sudden it's like, and you're going to be given rank, and you're going to be an apprentice. It's like, what?
Yeah, where did that come from?
Right.
But of course, that's one way to actually calm the rankless down.
Right.
Is, he took pity on this girl and gave her a position and rank, and he's wonderful.
Right. And this hurt because Kem is like, I'm losing both of them, knowing
Right.
like all at once. And he's like, of course, didn't want anything to happen to her, but like, I'm losing this little girl that I needed to help save. And he just looked like happy and defeated all at the same time.
Right.
And I was just like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Because knowing what we know, that they're going to try to overthrow, it's like, oh my God, what does that mean for all of his like acolytes up there? And
right.
Now she's one, and I was like, no. So I was not.
And when Ona appears back on stage in her
little tiny
costume,
robe.
Yeah.
It's like, where'd that come from?
Exactly. How they don't carry those around.
Were you prepared?
Oh, here, I've got a size 2 for you.
Size 2 extra short. Here you go.
Yeah.
But
and the
nice.
attitude was so completely different.
For Ona, you mean?
Yes.
Like, she just knew. She knew what she needed to do and what to say. And I don't know, do you think that she had wanted that to happen?
Actually, yes.
Okay.
Because the sentry was in Ona. It went from her mom to her, and then from her to the statue.
Oh my God. See, I just thought, like, she was just being a little kid, like, upset, and then, like, oh no, I really need to do this. So the sentry evolved to stop, to not, like, kill her, basically.
Right. Yeah, it was only using her to get to Ralph.
I couldn't figure this out. Because honestly, all the way to the end, I'm going, how does her mom know anything? And I was thinking it was that somehow Ram put something in the statue and then gave it to Ona and, like, kept telling her, you should give this to the voice. But I didn't think it was in her. Like, I never actually thought that.
Right. And that was my first thought too. But with the major change from Ona to Robe was so massive that I just couldn't completely buy it. I mean, yes, I can see her kind of being happy, but not that happy and not that forceful with her words. You know, it's like she'd been doing it all her life.
Wow.
And so that made me question, whoa, wait, just a minute here. Now, a Brainiac Sentry, I could see that amount of cockiness coming out of it.
Yeah, never
so I have
crossed
a
my
feeling
mind.
she probably got the statue back, and once they retired to their quarters, she gave it back to him. And that's where the transfer happened.
Okay. Yeah, because when Ram wakes up and she's kind of all freaked out, and she's like, major surge hitting her, and she's like, we have to stop Ona. Stop Ona.
Right.
It's like, what? Like I said, I just assumed it was, just that somehow she remembered that something went into the statue. Never thought beyond that. That's really interesting, though. But unfortunately, then Ram dies because Brainiac finally severs everything.
Right.
And now, you know what? Now that we've kind of talked this out, it makes sense because if the sentries are linked, the sentry that would be inside Ona would be linked to her mom, and her mom would know what Ona wanted, even if that's actually what she really did want.
Yeah.
And then, that makes more sense now. Holy crap! It's crazy, though.
Yeah. So, of course, we go back to Seg, and we see him double-crossing the Resistance commander, attacks the female soldier that had basically tortured him, and returns the favor by stuffing the bug into her mouth.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
But she did get a good wounding in on him, because she, like, stabbed him with something in the shoulder.
Right. So he grabs the tactical rifle and busts out of the joint to go do Fort Roz himself.
It is so weird with everything that was happening that he has no idea where he is.
Right.
So he's got to climb his way out, basically, of this place. And suddenly he's, like, out in basically the Badlands.
Yeah.
Or Outlands or whatever. And we see him like, all right, well, he doesn't know what's happening. He's got to start walking, and he's bleeding. And I'm thinking, great, you're in, like, this little tiny jacket where we've seen all these people in, like, major winter gear.
Right.
And you don't know where you're going. Okay, good job. I'm sure that's going to work great.
Yeah.
And as he's walking off, suddenly we have our commander back, and he's pissed with what's happening. It's like, great.
Yeah.
We need to find everybody. And it's like, all right, is this where it ends? No. No, it's not.
No. Because we go to the Voice of Rao's chambers as he is settling in by himself after a long day of brainwashing the masses. Picks up the sun god statue and gives it a look, and all of a sudden a black tendril erupts from the statue and stabs him in the arm, causing the greenish-black bands to streak through his veins, chest, and neck, choking him violently.
Yeah. See, I thought, like, he's looking at it, and I'm thinking, all right, he's looking, and he's like, maybe we need to change things. But then I thought he pressed something on it, and that's when the little thing kicks out. But I'm like, all right, well, I was wrong. He wasn't Brainiac or whatever. Now he's going to be a sentry, and how quickly is it going to run through him to realize, well, do we want him or do we want all of these other people? Because he is isolated from all of these people.
Yeah, and we'll see how long he stays in power, too.
Yeah. So, especially if anybody sees that, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, he's not one of us. So, yeah, this should be interesting.
Right. But with his multi-faced helmet, it's going to be very difficult. One of his accolades is going to have to notice something different, and they're going to have to be cool enough not to say anything, or they'll be gone before they can say something. So this will be very interesting to see how all this plays out. Will the commander catch up with Seg, and what will he do to Seg?
Right.
If he's a Zod, he's not going to be a happy camper.
Well, we'll find out. This is getting really good, though, and I can't believe it. It feels like it's much further in than it is.
Right.
Because the way everything's unraveling, and it's great. I love it. So, what do you guys think? We want to hear from you. Shoot us an email at syfytalk@fangirlzone.com, or when you tweet with us, or send us a Facebook message, or there's like so many ways to send us messages at this point. YouTube, which I got some YouTube messages, by the way. So thank you guys.
Awesome.
But the easiest way to find us is just go over on fangirlzone.com, because then you can go to our contact page and click any of them and then shoot us any message you want. Hopefully, it's not you guys suck, but we'll take constructive criticism, whatever. But while you're at it, please rate and review us on iTunes, and hopefully that's good ratings and reviews, but we take, again, constructive criticism. And also rate us on any other podcatchers you're finding us on, because good ratings and reviews help other fans of the show find us. Please tell your friends. We do hope you're enjoying the podcast and the show. What do you guys just in general think about the show? Let us know. And all that being said, and all the craziness and all the new little theories that we've probably sprinkled in there, I can't be the only one who wasn't thinking that Ono was infected. So come on. Somebody tell me I'm not alone. For this episode of Sci-Fi Talk, I am Sean Fangirl Ass.
And I'm Steve. I've got to say, hologram granddaddy's pretty sweet. It'd be better if he could hold things, fetch beers.
And until next time.